What up? You got Cinco Smith at wealthyrapper.com. And at wealthyrapper.com, what I do is teach people how to create multiple streams of income as an artist, even if they never get a record deal, even if they never get famous. And I just want to offer that free video content. If you want to check it out, click the link below or just go to wealthyrapper.com and get instant access to that content. Or you can just stay connected with me at cincosmith.com. In this brief video, I want to talk to you artists, rappers in general, about credit and why it's important for you to have good credit. A lot of times artists get deemed as people who are kind of careless with finances, or just get deemed as people who don't really care about wealth or building wealth. They just want to get on, as they call it, get money. Then they'll focus on that later. But I'm here to tell you that along your journey, you have to operate and understand that you are a business. You're just a small business. Even if you're pushing the envelope yourself, meaning that you're building it out, doing your music, blasting it out, and it just seems as though you're just trying to get noticed, get recognized, get seen, get discovered, and before you can reach the fans and get the money that's rightfully yours. Along that journey, you have to understand that you're no different from an Amazon that might have started in the garage, or a big computer company that might have started in the basement. You're no different from them. You're just an entity that's operated by one individual. And if you understand that you're a business, then that puts a different mindset in what you're doing. You're just doing the building blocks in order to get to where you're trying to go. But by understanding financial literacy along that journey, you can actually get further faster and increase your revenue a lot quicker, especially if you're working a job. I said this countless times, and I'll try to say it as many times as possible. A lot of people who are artists or rappers, they have a side job, unless you're of an age and you're just rapping and you're still living with your parents. But a lot of rappers have a side job. That's cool, because the money that you're spending from your job to put into your business of being a rapper can be tax deductible, which offsets your overall income. I don't want to go too deep into that video. But if you're operating in that way on a day-to-day basis, day in, day out, you don't look at the money that you spent towards your music as an expense. It's a business expense, which means that it can be tax deductible and it can come back to you because it offsets your overall income and allows you to legally pay less in taxes. I talked about that on other videos, and I continue to talk about it. But on this video, I want to speak specifically about credit. By you understanding that you're a business, that's one thing. But by understanding that a lot of times, if your credit is poor, you pay more for things that other people get for less. So if you have a credit card, your interest is probably going to be higher. If you have a car note, your interest is probably going to be higher. Your insurance rates will probably be higher, even utilities sometimes. Even the job that you qualify for sometimes looks at your credit. And if your credit isn't intact, then you end up missing opportunities due to you having a low credit score. Now, on top of that, if your credit is intact, then you are also in a position to qualify for certain loans or grants because your credit was intact. A lot of people are applying for the SBA loans, and I did a video where I spoke directly out to music producers and artists where they could benefit from the SBA loans. But the SBA loans have been based on credit a lot of times. So if your credit isn't intact, you miss that opportunity to get a low interest rate loan that can go into your business and help you further your career, whether you put that into advertisement, whether you put that into your apparel, whether you put that into something that's going to grow your business. Not blow the money, put it into something that's going to grow your business. So credit is a must. Plus, many artists also have other interests, and if your credit is intact, you can benefit from the other things that you're interested in. So you grow your revenue, and then that revenue can go towards building your music career. Because I know if you have other interests, deep down in your heart, you still want to do music, but you might just need something else, another vehicle to help you make money faster or make more lumps of money so that you can pour back into your music career. So credit is definitely important. And a few things that you need to understand in terms of getting your credit intact is 5 factors to your credit. And if you're focusing on these things, and of course, if you need assistance or guidance, then I'm here to do that. I offer a very inexpensive DIY credit platform that allows you to restore your own credit, shows you step-by-step what to do, video tutorials, documents, and downloadables if you want to do it yourself. But many people say, look, I want to get my credit in order, but I don't want to do it myself. I'd rather pay somebody to do it. And if that's you, then of course, I don't mind helping you in doing that as well. I have a credit restoration company that I own. And that being said, we restore credit, get you in shape. And, it's a process, but we do it for you if that's what you're interested in. But understand that it's 5 factors of credit. And by understanding that it's 5 factors of credit, and if you do this as an artist, as a rapper, it puts you ahead of the game of other rappers and artists who are strictly looking for a deal or a record label, or just operating in a way that they're not even concerned about their finances, even though they are a small business. So if you're a small business, whether you know it or not, when you put on a hat and said you wanted to be a rapper, you immediately became a business individual. You're a brand, you are, a force. And if you operate in a way that you understand that your business is taking care of your finances, then it separates you from the pack. So that's what this channel is all about. You becoming a wealthy rapper, separating yourself from the pack. 5 factors of credit, and you can be focusing on these now so you can understand that it goes and plays a huge role in terms of your credit. Number 1 factor of credit is payment history. Basically, makes sure you have a historical track record of paying your bills on time. So payment history is just that, the history of which you've been making payments. So if you got a historical track record of paying your bills on time, then that affects 35% of your score. And if 35% of your score is contingent upon payment history, then you want to be paying your bills on time. If you have some times where you didn't pay things on time, it does ding your credit. And there are ways to get those removed, and, some things that they can do in order to be courteous to you in that area. As long as you've been making payments of any kind, some of those things can be removed. But payment history, first factor, 35% of your credit score. Number 2, credit utilization. Like I said earlier, if you have a credit card, you need to understand credit utilization. What is credit utilization? Credit utilization is the percentage of use that you've used your credit score. So basically, what does that mean? Numerically, let's say you had a credit balance or credit limits of $1,000, but the balance on it was $800, meaning of that $1,000 you spent $800. Well, your utilization is 80% because 800 is 80% of $1,000. That does not look good in terms of credit bureaus. That doesn't look good in terms of your credit score, because how they look at it is that you need the whole 1,000. So it's only $200 left of spending room. Let's affect their credit because they have a too high credit utilization. So what you want to aim for is a single digit credit utilization. Some people say divide by 3. So you would do a third. So keep it under $300 and then you're good to go. I say try to aim for a single digit amount. I understand, things happen. That's why I say aim for a single digit, because if it's in the 20 percentile or under 30%, you're still okay. But if you aim for a particular target, at least you buy yourself a little room to not get over the 30% because you're aiming for single digits. So what does that look like? That means if you have $1,000 credit limit, then your balance should be under $100. Even if you're spending a certain amount and paying it all off at the end of the month, that's recommended as well. But that's all credit utilization, and credit utilization affects 30% of your credit score. So we have 35% from payment history, 30% from credit utilization, and then the next one is credit history. So basically, this is the age of your credit. How long have you been utilizing credit? Many people who are new to credit don't have much of a credit history. So sometimes they have to get an authorized user, or they have to get somebody to co-sign, or they have to piggyback off of someone else's credit score in order to make their credit score look like it has a little age to it, meaning that they've been using credit for a while. However, there are strategies that can help you in the area, but if you've been using credit for a while, then the age of your credit plays a part. The most recent 2 years play the biggest part, but the age of your credit does matter, and that affects your credit score about 20%, 30, 20, 25, 20%. It may be 25. Don't quote me on it. I'm not looking at the charts, but credit history matters, the age of your credit. So you want to make sure historically you're keeping things intact, because it'll all play out. Or if you have somebody that you trust, like a family member or a parent, and you know that they keep their credit intact, you can ask them to add you as an authorized user, and they don't even have to issue out a card. If they don't issue out a card, then guess what? You can still benefit from their good payment history, their good credit utilization, and it adds credit history because you get to piggyback off of their credit history. So that's a powerful piece of the puzzle. I recommend somebody you know or a family member more so than just getting trade lines, because that's temporary. That's a whole nother video. I won't get into that. And number 4, as an artist, you need to understand that the 4th factor of having good credit is credit mix, meaning do you have a diverse credit portfolio, meaning do you have a little of what's known as revolving debt? That's the credit cards. Do you have a little bit of what's known as I forget it, but basically if you're paying installment debt. So if you're paying for a home, or if you're paying for a car, that's considered installment debt. If you have a personal loan, that's installment debt. A good mix of the two benefit you. So understanding that also plays a part in your credit. So make sure you have a mix. Some people avoid credit cards altogether, but you're losing out on the utilization, which is 30%. And I feel like that's the strongest percentage, even though it's less than 35%, which is what payment history is. I feel like utilization is the strongest because it's the one you have the most control over, and you can get all of your points on credit utilization because it's totally up to you. It's only based on you. So that's a strong piece to having a solid credit score. Don't sleep on that. But having credit mix means that you need a combination of both. You need a little bit on your credit report pertaining to you paying your auto loans or a personal loan back, but also have some credit utilization. Understand strategically how to use a credit card. And last but not least is new credit. And I may have flipped the two. Sometimes I say new credit first, sometimes I say credit mix first, but those two are 20, or they both are 10% each. It may be 20, 15, 15. Hold on, let me do the math. 30, 10, 10, 25, 45, 40, 35, 60, 65, 35. Boom. All right. So the last 3 total up to equal 35%. So that gives you 15%, 10, 10. So credit history, 15%. New credit is 10%, and then credit mix is 10% for a total of 35%. So what is new credit? New credit is basically how recent is the credit that you've acquired. So something that you might have did 10 years ago doesn't have as big of an effect as something that you've done a year ago. So understanding that positions you to understand that what you do now going forward will matter and benefit you a year from now. So all of it matters. It all ties in hand to hand. Hopefully it makes sense. But I really want you to understand the power of you as a rapper, as an artist, understanding financial literacy as a whole, but also understanding your credit, because credit opens up doors of opportunity to do other things that can allow you to bring in more cash flow into your business, because that is what you are, whether you know it or not. Like it or love it, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, and that's a good thing. But don't just be a business owner just so you can write your own check and make as much money as you want to make. Be a business owner who also benefits from using wealth to your advantage, credit to your advantage, tax laws to your advantage, all of these things to your advantage, so it can put you on a whole nother level and allow you to leave a legacy. And all of this is a blueprint or road or steps, building blocks towards getting to where you want to get. So that's all I have for this particular video. Credit does matter. If you want access to our DIY platform that allows you to fix your own credit, I'll put a link below so you can get access to it. Very inexpensive, and you can learn to do it yourself and get all of the letters without having to try to piece together all of these videos. Or if you want our assistance, then I will put, a site below that you can go to our site, see certain things, and also just put yourself in the system so we'll know that you exist and we can reach out to you and go over the terms and get you on track for building your credit. So that's all I got. Mr. Smith, or Cinco Smith at CincoSmith.com, signing out. And also, like I said, if you're an artist and you want to create multiple streams of income, even if you never get a record deal, visit WealthyRapper.com. That's spelled the normal way. I have it linked below, and you'll be able to access that free video content that'll put you in position to understand how to create multiple streams of income as an artist. That's all I got. Cinco Smith, signing out. Salute.